there, this is James and you're watching Tixee Live. And a very good morning to all of you, and all of you a very happy Thursday. In today's program, I want to talk about the day finally being here, and that day, of course, is ECB Day. Plus, a couple of breaking news events from the Bank of Japan, which can indeed affect the dollar yen. But before we get into all of that, don't forget these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence, and of course know the risks at hand before entering any trade. With that out the way, let's get started. So indeed, today is the day. The day is here, and that is where the market is expecting potentially for the ECB to do a jumbo rate hike, a jumbo rate hike. Obviously, this is their interest rate decision. It is the center story of the day. But here's the thing: this is why, as I say, it's the build up to this event has so much anticipation, and the reason for that is, of course, whether or not they will do 50 basic points. 50 basic points, or do 75. 75, it's the ECB we're talking about, doing 75 basic points. Now, if you told me this or said that this was even on the cards several months ago, I would have said, you're pulling my leg. You're kidding me. No chance. But ever since the Jackson Hole Symposium, where a few ECB members did some speeches, obviously the center of that event was Powell in his speech. There was a few ECB members who did mention they were toying with the idea or thinking it was a good idea to do a 75 basic point rate hike. That was unheard of. Now the market is really anticipating this. In fact, 66% think there is a chance of a 75 basic point rate hike. 75, and like I say, this would be a pretty hawkish move by the ECB, a central bank which has sort of taken its time to act. Because don't forget, inflation in the EU is at record high, as in around a good number of countries around the world. Is at 9.1%. 9.1%. It's not quite as much as the UK at 10.1, but still at 9.1%. So yeah, this is the big build up for this event. Will they do 75? This is what the Euro bulls are sort of hoping they will do. But like I say, it's going to be a big, potentially a big event. So I'm pretty much excited about it. But after the ECB interest rate decision, of course, we have the press conference, which follows 45 minutes later. 45 minutes later after the decision. Now, I don't know if you remember, last time we did a coverage of the ECB interest rate decision, I think it was a couple of decisions ago, the market was quite bullish on the decision, but then when the press conference came about, Lagarde, who can be pretty dovish, she turned the whole market around, and then the euro collapsed on the back of her remarks and her comments and some of the answers to the questions she was being asked. So it can be all turned around by this press conference as well. So that's going to be pretty interesting. But what's going to be really interesting, around the same time she's speaking, and this very rarely happens, is that Powell is talking as well. About 20 minutes, about 30 minutes, 25 minutes into Lagarde's speech, Powell is speaking. So that's really unheard of, because usually central bank members try and put their speeches a little bit later or not at the same time as another central bank member speaking. So this is going to be pretty big. So we could see a fair bit of volatility on what Lagarde says and what Powell says, because they're speaking at the same time. So that would be pretty interesting as well. Powell is set to speak at 1:10 p.m. UTC. Lagarde is speaking at 12:45 p.m. UTC. In other news, the dollar has slipped slightly, and the euro, because of the build-up, obviously for the ECB interest rate decision and press conference, is currently flirting a little bit with parity. So that's we'll have a look at the market in the moment. But in other news, okay, the Bank of Japan has hinted it may intervene with obviously the yen weakness, because as we know, the dollar yen's at a 24-year high, but they may intervene. And if they do, it'll be the first time since 1998. In fact, Japan Deputy Chief Cabinet Secretary, it says, watching FX moves with high sense of urgency. It's just words, I know. Japan's top currency diplomat, though, Kanda, has said he's extremely worried about recent yen moves and will not rule out any steps, and they're ready to take action. Ready to take action. Remember, when I was talking about the dollar yen a little while ago, I said the one thing which can stop the dollar momentum against the yen is Bank of Japan's intervention. And now they're hinting at they might actually do that. But let's have a quick look at the market as it stands. This is the yen. Okay, this is dollar yen. At the moment, as you can see, hang on, add it to the stream, sorry. Forgot to add it then. There we go. As we can see, okay, it's currently trading at 143.98 off the highs where it was flirting with the momentum to get to 145. Okay, so it is hovering around 143. So we've seen a little bit of yen strength against the greenback. However, like I say, these are just words at the moment. And Bank of Japan has said similar things in the past, where they said they're considering intervening or they're considering to do something. And though it has helped with a bit of yen strength initially, their lack of action has meant that the dollar can still gain strength against it. And though, like I say, at the moment it is slightly weaker, unless the Bank of Japan physically does something, then really you still have to favor the dollar bulls. And that 145 bracket, they might, to be honest, to be fair, they might even wait till it gets to 145 and then intervene. So anyway, like I say, the uptrend is still there. There is currently a bit of support from around 143.54. Resistance-wise, currently in the short term, potentially around 144.25. Now, obviously, euro is the star player today. It's going to take center stage because of the ECB press conference. As you can see, it's flirting a little bit with parity. Currently trading at 0.9984. If we bring it out a little bit and have a look on a daily, really the key area of interest, in my opinion, for resistance for it to really start getting bullish again is 1.0025. Apparently, it's a little tiny support as well at the moment, around about 0.9945. There's a potential support there. Sterling, it's a big day today as well, because obviously Truss will be announcing her plans or her policies to how to help with the energy crisis, obviously high inflation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a big day for her. But like I say, she's going to be upstaged by Lagarde and the ECB, really. Currently, it's under the 115 bracket again. I'm watching 1.1493 as a potential area of interest. The markets, okay, the S&P 500 is currently, had a slightly better day yesterday, which is a good thing because it had nothing but bad days over the last couple of trading sessions. Currently trading at 3,974 points. But obviously, the thing with this, we have to see what Powell says in his speech today. In my opinion, I think he'd probably just say the same things he said at Jackson Hole, which would just underline what he said. So that would be interesting too. So anyway, the big event, of course, is going to be the ECB interest rate decision due today at 12:15 p.m. UTC. Because it's a big event, obviously, I'm going to be doing a watch along, be going on air 10 minutes beforehand at 12:05 p.m. UTC. Please come along and join me for that. That's really is the main event for this week. It's just going to be this. It's been building up to this. But there is one more thing I want to announce, which it's pretty big, and I'm pretty excited about it. And that's the next episode of, obviously, #AskJames, which is on Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. UTC. Those of you who are unfamiliar with this series, it's a different series. It's still broadcasted live, because live means live. But this one, it's a educational video where you send in the topic of your choice, any subject you want me to cover, and I dedicate a video just for that. So far I've done market jargon and I've done an introduction to candlesticks. And tomorrow's episode is trend lines, introduction to trend lines. And a big thanks and a big shout out to October Zest 19 for this suggestion. Really, really appreciate it, because like I say, I need your guys' suggestions, your topic ideas. Send them in to me, please, either live on air or put it in the comment section. And I will then do a #AskJames video just for that. So a big thanks to October S19. Like I say, so that's tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. UTC. So please come along and join me for that. The market, as it currently stands, the FTSE is currently trading 0.18%, DAX currently trading negative 0.04%, and Euro Stoxx 50 currently trading negative 0.32%. Don't forget, you can ask me questions anytime. Oh, here's another suggestion. Oh, okay. Hashtag, ask James, can you do one on fundamental analysis, please? Yes, I certainly will. In fact, I'll do that next week. I will do that next week for you. Thank you very much for your suggestions. A good idea. I'll definitely do that. Definitely do that. And good to see you, by the way. Like I say, don't forget, you can ask me questions or give suggestions for episodes, or indeed share me your opinions, or simply say hello if you like. You know, how are you doing? How's your day going? Thanks. You're welcome. No problem. You're welcome. Simply say hello if you like, or share me what you think. Do you think the Bank of Japan will step in and intervene? Like I said, they haven't intervened in the currency market since 1998. So this is potentially a big thing if they do. Or is it just talk? Because what BOJ have done is just talk the talk, but they haven't done anything. This is why I think until they physically do something, then I think the dollar is still pretty bullish against the yen. And the reason for that, we have two different policies from two different central banks, completely the lunar opposites of that. Okay, don't forget, if you think of a question later, okay, you can put it in the comment section, either on Facebook and YouTube. I will see them and I will reply to them next time I'm live on air. With that, anyway, okay, so fair enough. If there is no questions, like I always say, if you're watching me on Facebook and you've enjoyed this little episode, give us a follow. If you're watching me on YouTube and you've enjoyed this little video, by all means, subscribe if you like. Hit the notification button so you know next time I'm going live, which is of course, at 12:05 p.m. UTC to do a watch along of the ECB interest rate decision. Should be pretty exciting. Saying that, I've probably built it up and it's going to be disappointing, but never mind. Should be exciting. Please come along. Don't forget, I go on 10 minutes beforehand where we talk a little bit about it first. We go through several scenarios, what could potentially happen, and then we watch the event unfold live. So please come and join me at 12:05 p.m. UTC to watch the ECB interest rate decision. Anyway, okay, till next time. If you've enjoyed this little video, don't forget to give me one of those. It's nice to know that you like what I do. Anyway, till next time, don't forget, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. So I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence. And of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. Till next time, every single one of you, trade safe.